What's going on, gamers? Today I'm going to be going over my thoughts on the newly released Halo Infinite multiplayer. It's got a lot to live up to, so how does it do? Well, let's find out. Welcome back, you guys and girls. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox, then why not hit that subscribe and bell icon? But today I'm here to talk about the new Halo Infinite multiplayer. Let's face it, it's been a while since we've had a Halo game released, so how does it shape up with the multiplayer side of things? Now first off, if you're a little confused as to how people are actually already playing this, as the full game's not supposed to release until the 8th of December next month, well, that would be down to the good people of 343 Industries and Xbox Game Studios, who have managed to bring it to us nice and early as part of the 20 years of Halo celebrations. It can be downloaded free from the marketplace now or via your Game Pass, and it's going to be continually running until the game is completely released on the 8th. Now in general, Halo titles always carry a huge weight on their shoulders, and Infinite is definitely no different, so how is it looking? Now as soon as I'd loaded the game up, the first thing that I decided to check out were its settings. And honestly, I was really pleasantly surprised. I found a lot of games lately to have very minimal options in this department. Halo Infinite settings go above and beyond, with almost everything you could ask for seemingly thrown in the mix. Whether it be the field of view slider, the motion blur, streaks when you're running, or even screen shake, all of it seems to be in there. It was actually quite refreshing to see so many options and customizations, and will really help people to tailor the experience to what they're after. Jumping back to the main menu, and you're met with a few options, but the main ones you'll be focusing on will be either the campaign, multiplayer, academy, a kind of makeshift tutorial, or the custom games. But the campaign obviously at the moment is still locked until the full game release. Now being the old school Halo 3 player that I am, and being quite confident in my skills, I jumped straight into a game. And a few things became evident straight away. One is that if you're used to more modern shooters like Destiny 2 and even the Call of Duty series, then you'll have no issues transitioning over to this title, as all of the controls are very intuitive and very familiar. Secondly, the actual mechanics of the game, the gunplay, the gameplay, all seemed very smooth and on point. In fact, a lot more so than I thought it would be. And coming up to 3, age and a lack of playing first person shooters has definitely taken its toll on me, and my skill level is far from what I remember. So my bad aim aside, I found myself really enjoying the game, and it was very much Halo as I remembered, albeit with a few more tweaks, new weapons, and of course completely new maps, as well as a little bit more faster pace due to the sprint feature in the game. In fact, if you've played any of the previous Halo games and enjoyed the multiplayer side of them, you could quite easily see yourself enjoying this incarnation. However, much like in every team-based shooter, I would say you'll definitely have more success if you play with a team which you can communicate with. It will definitely help you to win a lot more matches. And if you find yourself going into games solo almost constantly, then there's a good chance that if you are pitted against a well-organised team, you may well end up like this a few more times than you actually should. Now to me, the gunplay and the game's connection was really good. I had no lag or instances where I felt something was an issue, so I feel like at the moment the servers seem pretty spot on, which is great because a lot of the games I've played recently have seemed to really struggle with this aspect. And getting back onto the subject of the weapons, and something I wish I'd done at the start would be to head over to the academy and go into the weapon drills, where you can try out all the weapons in the game, from the trusty MA40AR all the way to some of the newer stuff like the shock rifle or even the heatwave. A gun range is always a welcome addition to any first person shooter game and can help you decide what weapons to look out for during a match. Another nice thing in the game is just how much customization you can do. You can customise almost anything, both on your character, like different armour pieces, logos and colour effects, all the way to sprucing up your vehicle a bit or even your weapons. Honestly, there's a massive amount you can tweak, and once you've adjusted everything to your liking, your character and what he uses will feel truly personalised. And by just adjusting a few of these, you'll unlock a few easy achievements on the Xbox, which is a nice added bonus. Now the game has 4 multiplayer modes, consisting of competitive ranked, for all of you trying to test your mettle and rise up the ranks to see just how good you truly are. Bot bootcamp, if you want a much easier time to jump in against AI, great for learning purposes or just to chill and test a few weapons or equipment out. Then you've got big team battle, which is much like it sounds, in a much larger scale area, larger map, more heavy weapons and of course vehicles. And finally quick play, if you just want to jump straight into a match with no fuss. Now the game modes that you get within these are almost all as in previous Halo games, ranging from oddball all the way to the standard Slayer, with the only new one that I could see being Strongholds, which was a kind of makeshift capture the point scenario, but in order to amass points you had to capture 2 out of the 3 locations. All in all, there definitely seems to be enough variety so that everyone should have something or some game type that they look forward to. After around 12 hours of playtime, I can honestly say some of the things in the game I found really impressive. The fact that I had absolutely zero issues while playing and no lag, no disconnects, no kickback to the home screen really bodes well. I didn't glitch through the walls or fall through the floor randomly. For a beta, even though it's pretty much the full game, it surprised me how well it actually played and how few issues there actually were. In fact, I think I'm just getting used to games releasing with an abundance of issues of late, and I'm starting to expect it as standard. In fact, the only slight issue that I had within the whole game time I played was that it took me a few instances to get into the store for it to load up, and if this is the only issue I have, I can really live with that nice and easy. Like I said earlier as well, the game is really fluid. There's a sprint button there, but it's not really that prominent. You won't be using it all the time because it'll make things a little bit harder with your gunplay, and it doesn't seem quite as fast paced like in some of the other first person shooters. So to me it really helps Halo stick a little bit to its roots. Also, I feel like they've got the time to kill pretty bang on, as Halo has always made it so that in the right circumstances you can turn the tide to battle, as opposed to say the really high fast paced gameplay of a Call of Duty where often you'll be killed so quickly you barely have time to react. In Halo Infinite this can make for some fun encounters and some epic battles. Also, I like the feature of the equipment slots. You can scavenge certain items around the map like a grapple shot for covering terrain a little faster, or a swift getaway, or a repulsor which can deflect some projectiles, as well as more well-known ones like the overshield. I found these a really nice added feature, but not completely game-breaking, and some like the repulsor were really situational but fun. In games such as this, there's always the elephant in the room however, and that is of microtransactions. Halo Infinite will definitely be having these in abundance. Love them or hate them, they'll definitely be a big part of Halo Infinite multiplayer, ranging from a season pass to purchasing things such as cosmetics. In general, I've usually found that it's down to whether or not you have the spare money to buy these, or for how long an investment you plan on playing the actual game. If you plan on playing Halo Infinite for some years down the line, then some of these items can really be quite enticing. In fact, I've already seen a few cosmetics in the season pass that I really wouldn't mind getting my hands on. Now obviously there are a few things that frustrated me when playing, and not really anything game breaking, but more like things I found maybe a little bit too overpowered or underpowered, and the first one was just the amount of grenades that head your way. You get 2 frag grenades at the start of a match, and more when you find them around the map or on dead bodies. If you are facing a well organised team, no crevice seems to be safe, and you will quite easily find yourself having 3, 4, upwards of 5 head in your direction. I found myself very often killed by grenades, a lot more than in a lot of other games. But of course it is early days, and there's a larger audience at play, due to it being free, but I found the grenade spam to be quite overwhelming sometimes on some maps, and personally felt that maybe 1 frag or 1 sticky at the start would be better, or even just 1 grenade as a rule. But again, like I said, I'm far from a first person shooter pro, and maybe I was just unlucky, or was getting caught in a bad position a bit too often. Secondly, I found that the vehicles seemed to be a little bit less worthwhile than in some of the previous Halos. In fact, on some maps they seemed a little bit like an afterthought, and couldn't really even traverse the terrain too well. Not only that, but some seemed a little bit underwhelming on firepower, and often I found the most times that I would either kill people or be killed by people in vehicles was a lot less because the person on the back was shooting at me, and more so because the driver was ramming into me and using the vehicle as a battering ram, which is a lot of fun, but I don't think he's had it all intended. These however were very minor concerns, and other than that I found pretty much all of the gameplay and the map designs and just overall feel of the game was pretty much outstanding, so my fingers are firmly crossed that this is going to be a great start, and really hope that it carries across to the campaign and overall game when it comes out. Like I said, the full game release is on the 8th, but for now we've got the multiplayer to crack on with, and it does seem to be a lot of fun. So if first person shooters are your thing, I'd say it's definitely worth a try. Even if it's something that you're going to put down after a few days, it's worth seeing if it's worth investing any time in. Right, all you gamers, I'm going to leave you with the man of the moment, and that's John117. As always, for all things gaming, for all things Xbox. Take care. I'll see you on the next day.
What happened? Where is Cortana?
The rogue AI known as Cortana is gone. She's been deleted.
How? By you?
Of course not. Did you hit your head or something? Don't you remember? My instructions were to enter this installation, imitate Cortana, and lock her down for retrieval. Yours were to take her back to the Infinity for deletion. So if it wasn't you... Okay then. There's something else. On successful deployment, my deletion routine was supposed to complete. Still here.
Good.
Good.
Something stopped your deletion. We need to find out why.
But this wasn't the mission.
The missions change. They always do.
Are you sure?